Hello, hello. So I'm here today, sitting down with Rachel Brownlow Lund. She's also Austin-based, millennial women's empowerment and leadership coach and thought leader. Great perspective on millennial entrepreneurship and the path to take that journey, take that leap. And yeah, here today, going to open the conversation to just her stories and personal experience with millennial women and maybe just women also in a corporate job, but just looking towards getting into entrepreneurship. And we'll just see where it goes. But I'm fortunate to be here with her today. She's been recognized locally by the Austin Business Journal and is definitely, thought highly of here in the community for, taking women, who are millennials and leveling their experience up, leveling up their leadership. So thank you so much for joining
Yeah,
me.
absolutely. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, of course. So you work with a lot of really ambitious millennial women. A lot of them are entrepreneurs and starting their own, or are very successful already with their own businesses. And you had mentioned that there are some women that you work with who are maybe still in a job where they have a lot of aspirations for starting their side hustle. Maybe open the door on that a little bit and share some of the motivations for that. What are their dreams?
Yeah, so a lot of the women I work with have big aspirations of making a sizable change in the world. They want to make a difference. They want to help philanthropically and live out a life professionally and personally where they are living in their values. And sometimes the corporations they work for or the companies they work for, they don't necessarily align with those values. They provide the steady paycheck, but maybe they don't have all of the outreach opportunities that these women would like. And so a lot of women come to me wanting to have it all. They want to have that full life where they can really make a difference and help others and change the world um, and they can live out something where they feel like they're making a difference.
Yeah, yeah. You know how some people say, how some people say like, oh, entrepreneurship, it's not for everybody.
I
What's your
do.
thought? What's your thought on that? Like, do you think it is for literally everybody? There's just skills you need to learn, or is it that, oh, it's not for everybody. It's for a certain type of individual.
Yeah, I think it may not be for everyone. Like some people, oh, well, okay. So you hear the saying, another saying too, like when in relationships, like there's a lid for every pot. And I think that type of mindset, it's true. Like some people are attracted to certain people, certain opportunities, certain careers, and not attracted to others. And so in that sense, I don't think it's for everyone. But I also would add a little caveat that I do think that more people, it is for more people than maybe, I don't know, largely believed. And I do think, like you said, there are different skill sets that you can learn to be very effective. So if there is any little part in you that has ever wanted to become an entrepreneur, I always like to encourage that part because you're going to do the rest of the work. You're going to do the work and make sure that that happens. But if there's again, if there's no desire at all, then don't bother. There are easier ways to make money.
Yeah, yeah. What's the first stage in anybody really considering that there are other choices to shifting just career focus or considering entrepreneurship? But I'm really talking to millennials because I think you mentioned there's a have it all attitude, with the clients that you have. And I all the research shows that millennials really kind of want that. They want like autonomy and they want to work for places that have social responsibility. They kind of want it all. And it's the assumption is like we're entitled. To me, it's just, I think it's a generation that's giving themselves permission to think about having it all, and really going for it all. So, but what's the first what's the first step in creating new choices? Maybe in a career path if they're not fulfilled, or if they're not fulfilled in a corporate job and want to consider entrepreneurship. What is like the first stage?
Well, first of all, I love your perspective about, being able to have it all. And I really resonate with that too. And I see, the people, so many people, clients and others out there really making a life for themselves that they've always dreamed of. So I know firsthand that that is possible. And, I read something recently. It said that by 2020, 40% of the US population will be freelancers. And so that's
Yeah.
really eye-opening. um,
I talk about two. I'm so glad. I love it.
yeah.
There's two stats really that I think is bringing on a tornado of change in how business is done. The stat you just brought up, which by the way, 2020 is like around the corner. That's like tomorrow. And 75% of people in the workforce that will be doing jobs, not freelance, will be under the age of 35.
Yes.
Like, what does that even look like? I feel like there's a tornado of change coming. And I don't know what it looks like, but go on. I really wanted to frame that because I think that I just think the way we do business is beyond technology and automation. I just think people in business, it's going to just be entirely different in the next few years.
I think so too. I think connections too, connecting to other people and opportunities, that's going to be even more valuable than ever.
Mm.
We're really going to need to know those skills because none of us have gotten to where we are even today without the help of others.
Mm.
Parents and teachers and even role models, mentors, sponsors. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't do anything big on your own. You need help. And if you're wanting to be a freelancer or start a business, then it's going to be imperative that you make those valuable connections. Some of those will be online, some of those will be in real life, in person, but I think it's crucial if you want to succeed. And I think it's one of the very first steps.
Love that. I love that. And is it just taking action, reaching out, saying, "Hey, I'd love to pick your brain. I'd love to get coffee with you. I'd love to have a conversation."
Yeah, sometimes also, definitely having something of value to add too. A lot of people are really busy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, busier today than ever. And so it always helps when you have something of value to add to the mix. And it's not just one sided, not just like, oh, let me pick your brain, but also,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I found this resource for you or something like that.
Nice. Nice. I think that's a great place to start, is really, really seek that out and understand how you might be able to support somebody. And yeah, it's really about references. It was so interesting. I had a visit back to where I'm from in Wisconsin recently, and, was talking with some younger individuals in their 20s and making job changes. And it was kind of like that grass is greener mentality where, and I'm like, I've been there. And although I wouldn't trade it for anything, I do remember coming from that place young, thinking that all my problems would be solved if I just found another job, because I would have a new boss and I would have a new territory. And all was fine, but none of those things changed. I just ended up having to adjust my perception to the situation. But I think a lot of younger people are in that situation, trying to change a city or trying to change a job to change their experience.
And that doesn't always work. So a lot of times there are
Doesn't.
those mental and emotional blocks. And if you
Yeah.
don't overcome them, then the same types of
Yeah.
problems are going to come up. They're going to show up just in a different light until you finally figure out how to solve them.
Yeah. Well, and it comes back to mentorship, right? Like what you said, meet somebody, references, like you don't know what's possible until you start to see like, oh, what's possible. And you're like, really interesting. I wonder what that would mean for me. Like I was asked, oh, isn't that scary what you're doing? Like, oh my gosh, isn't that, like somebody that hasn't I'm like, do you have any entrepreneur friends? Any of your friends in your close circle, are they entrepreneurs? Do you consume content or read books around some of that stuff? And the answer was really no. My focus is on my job and kind of getting better at that, or maybe finding this new job. And I'm like, well, it's just references. It's just trying on new references to hear about other people's stories and journeys, and try that on. Maybe that's possible for you. So I think similar to what you're saying.
I have a friend who does this, has this really awesome initiative. It's called Coffee with a Stranger. And she has a blog about it too, but she will literally get coffee with a stranger, someone she's never met before, and then have a great conversation with them, interview them, put them up on her blog, take their picture. And then at the end of the coffee date, she will ask them for a reference to someone else she hasn't met before. And so her network is just growing bigger and bigger, and she's meeting people that are so far removed from her everyday life.
Right.
That, I mean, that type of growth, it can be exponential. And those opportunities that she's creating for herself, she's also helping to create for others, because now she has these very different and disparate connections, and she can link people together and be that connector for people. So I just thought that was so cool.
That is really interesting. The widening of perspectives, it just goes so far. It just goes so far. Well, thank you so much. I know this is a short recording, but yeah, it's been great to dive in, and like to keep the content short for the audience. But I appreciate you just adding your perspective and wisdom from your clients and your business. I mean, you've been an entrepreneur for 10 years, so it feels good coming from somebody that's been around the block, knows what she's doing.
Well, absolutely. And thank you so much for inviting me, Travis. This was a lot of fun.
Of course. Thank you so much. Talk soon.
Bye.